You say no to me?
No, no.
Oh, so it's yes.
Yeah, no.
Yes or no?
I'm saying... sorry, I'm saying... Yes! Yes!
Hi, I'm Johnny. This is Johnny Likes, the show where I talk about movies that I like. Today I'm talking about a black comedy that won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival of 2022. Today Johnny likes Triangle of Sadness. I'd heard very little about this movie before I saw it. All I kind of knew was that it was a commentary on class inequality and it took place on a yacht. And I was actually expecting like a heavy, serious drama. Instead, I got this like wicked black comedy with this deadpan sense of humor that I absolutely loved. And I've been thinking about it pretty much ever since I saw it last week. So I am going to go into some spoilers that I would not have wanted to know about going into this. So here's the kind of too long didn't read version. It's a very funny, overlong savage comedy that takes some very unexpected turns. Well worth a watch. Alright, now go check it out and come back and see what I have to say. So the film is in a 3-act structure. Now the opening scene drew me in right away, and it was like if Zoolander hadn't been slapstick and had been like a almost mockumentary. And it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the film.
We are strong and tough and unapproachable. Show me that Balenciaga look. Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's back to H&M again. Yay! We're just kidding. We're so cheap. We're so happy. Yes.
And this is where we meet Carl, who's a modestly successful male model. He's done some campaigns and done some magazine work in the past, but he still has to go to open casting calls and audition for stuff. So we follow Carl and we meet his girlfriend Yaya at a dinner at a posh restaurant. It devolves into an argument about who's going to pay the bill. And I found this scene to be the most uncomfortable thing in the whole film to watch.
Sit down.
I'm just trying to figure out what exactly I did wrong. Seriously?
Calm down. Can we please just sit down?
Because you're fighting with me for money.
No, that's not what's happening.
That's literally...
It's just a couple fighting about money in public, loudly, kind of. It's just, I was embarrassed for them. I don't deal well with that kind of awkward social stuff. Their fight leads back to their hotel room, which neither has actually paid for.
What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Don't fucking do that to me.
Yaya has had the room comped for her because of her influencer status, which she feels like she paid for. And Carl kind of disagrees. And it's a kind of an interesting argument, and both sides have their points. But ultimately, neither of them realizes that they're just absolutely useless burdens on society, and neither can really admit it, or really even realizes it. Act 2 takes place on a luxury yacht type cruise situation for rich 1%ers. Yaya has of course had the trip paid for due to her influencer status and the publicity that she can bring to the company, the yacht, whatever. And she has Carl along with her to take vapid selfies for her socials.
Have a little look.
Aren't you going to eat the pasta?
We meet some other passengers along with some of the crew. We get the lay of the land, as it were. And this is where the film really starts to come together. We see all the elements of a complete disaster being assembled, which culminates in one of the most disgusting and hilarious scenes this side of a Farrelly Brothers movie. The captain's meal, which is where the captain dines with the crew and guests. It takes place during foul weather, and everything just goes downhill, and just keeps going downhill. And it just keeps getting more absurd and disgusting. And then it just keeps going. It was absolutely marvelous. It was kind of like watching a train wreck in like slow motion, and then watching other trains in slow motion come and wreck the first, and like join the first train wreck. And at like this point, the film had me 100% involved, and I was very curious where it was going to go once the weather settled down. Then out of nowhere, pirates come and sink the ship.
Winston, look, isn't this one of ours?
Oh no!
And this was probably the most like unexpected left turn in a movie that I've seen since the hard cut into Justin Long in Barbarian. So like a year or so, I guess. So this takes us to Act 3, which is the survivors of the shipwreck on a seemingly deserted tropical island. So now we have a much smaller cast trying to survive with a very limited amount of supplies and an even more limited amount of know-how. All of a sudden, Abigail, who on the yacht was in charge of toilet management, is suddenly the most capable person out of the bunch. She has the most basic of survival skills. She can fish, and she can build a fire. And in one of the most memorable scenes in the film, she lets everybody know that things are not as they were on the yacht. It doesn't matter that she was the toilet person and that so-and-so was a billionaire or in charge of the whole crew. What everyone's role in their previous life was is now completely irrelevant.
Who am I?
Captain.
Very good. Cutie pie?
Captain.
Who am I?
Captain.
Who am I?
Captain.
And we watch as they adjust to their new surroundings and the new hierarchy taking shape. So this movie is absolutely hilarious, but I think that I only laughed out loud like a couple of times. It's just not that kind of funny. It's more like you know something happening is really funny, but it's an odd funny. It's more like this soup tastes funny. I don't know, it's a different type of humor than your normal Hollywood slapstick stuff. And I found the humor to be very unexpected at times, but then at other points you could see it unfolding slowly and like from a mile away, almost like you're watching it happen from above. And it obviously had something to say about the uber rich and capitalism and society as a whole. I don't think it was anything all that interesting or insightful in the end. Maybe I'm missing like part of the point of the satire, but to me it just seemed like the kind of point was capitalism bad and very rich people also bad and kind of dumb. And I honestly don't think the film is saying anything more complicated than that. It's just doing it in like a bit longer and more complex way. Now the one thing I thought was maybe the film could be seen as like, it's like an analogy, like the film is an influencer or like a talking head. They want to be seen as like more important and intellectual than they actually are. Then again, it might be that this director-writer Ruben Ostlund just really dislikes rich pricks. I mean, he did have them covered in like piss, shit, and vomit for like a ridiculously long time in the film. And he also had them be basically as useful as like 9-year-olds once they get to the island setting. So maybe it really isn't all that deep. I'm really not sure about this one. I found it pretty hard to tell, and it's definitely worth a conversation with someone else who's seen the film. So apart from like the plot and the social commentary, the movie also featured some like great performances. It was like uniformly awesome from everybody. The only person I was familiar with beforehand was Woody Harrelson, who plays the captain of the yacht. And his scenes with Zlatko Buric as the Russian capitalist were like the cherry on top of this disaster sundae that was the captain's dinner fiasco.
I am not a communist. I am not a communist. I am a Marxist.
Dolly de Leon as Abigail was superb, and Dickinson and Charldi Dean as Carl and Yaya were also really good in their roles. I would recommend giving this film a shot, especially if it's something that you wouldn't normally watch. It's not the sort of thing that I watch every day. I normally watch like your normal Hollywood man-child stuff. So this made me feel kind of like an adult. I don't know. A little bit cultured, but there's also lots of poop, so there's that. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. It's got great acting. I love the slow build. I liked what it had to say. I love the unexpected turns and the sense of humor that it had. I didn't love the open-ended ending. And as far as like social commentary went, I think it could have been a little bit more nuanced. And it maybe could have tackled a little bit more subject matter. I also thought it was like a little bit long. Like some of the island stuff could have been trimmed down a fair amount in my opinion. But overall, it's something. It's a film to talk about. So some more class inequality stuff to watch. Kind of the closest thing actually I found to this was The Menu, that restaurant movie. If you like The Menu, give this one a shot for sure, or vice versa. Glass Onion, the Whodunit, and Parasite, the the South Korean film from a few years back. So what did you guys think of Triangle of Sadness? What do you want to see me talk about next? You could let me know in the comments. And if you could do me a favor and like and subscribe, that would be marvelous. It is quick, free, and relatively painless. Plus, it helps me out. Also, like just watching all my stuff, that helps me out. Thanks for watching me talk about movies for a little while. And you can tune in next time to see what else Johnny likes.
Do you think it's possible to wash them?
Well, I don't think that's possible, ma'am, because this is a motorized vessel.
Yeah.
So we don't have any sails.